Hello, I think we're live. I was just trying to convince Mimsy to come back up on her perch. She was here just before I went live, and then she disappeared. Oh, that's interesting. For those who've been regularly coming into the live chat, you'll know I had some weird technical thing on YouTube the last couple times where I didn't see what I looked like on YouTube. It was just black. But it's there tonight, so that's a plus. Let's get the chat happening. So hello, everyone's already in here. Who's here? Frank. It's Foxification, Fox of Fate, Natalie, Luke, Will, CrossFitter, Mega Leech. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, Frank, I went back through the chat while you guys were waiting for me, and I noticed you're an hour early, Frank. You asked me when it was on, and I told you and went, yeah, no, it's an hour early. I went, dude, I looked, okay, whatever. That's right. And hello, Anne and Dirk. Luke, I'm doing well, thank you. Aussie Brick Chick, hello, hello, hello. So, look, we're off and running. They're starting to count things. Look, it's going to be an hour before we even have decisive trends, if at all. You're going to come up here, Mimsy. What are you doing, you silly cat? Going to be the election cat? The only person more popular than Anthony Green tonight? Yeah, come up here. There you go. There you go. So God damn it. Oh no, I do have them. I was looking up cocktail recipes, thinking of how I could theme some, and I've got a whole bunch that I'll use if various things happen. Emily, yes. Kat, Mimsy is here. Will, how's AIDSy? Not great, mate, but hopefully on the upswing, out of hospital and working on it. And hopefully you'll be seeing him on videos again soon. Ooh, Catherine, I like that one. Kick out the government. Cocktail, peppermint, Bailey's peppermint ice cream. I've got a mint vodka I made. That's a nice one. Kick out the government. I could do that. Yes, CrossFit, you're not allowed to start any counting before 6, even with the pre-polls and whatnot, because there's a belief that if people saw a trend in pre-polls, it could influence their vote. So there's not allowed to be any counting whatsoever before 6, not even with the pre-polls. Oh my God, I heard that, Anne. A volunteer for Clive Palmer's shitbag actually pulled his cock out and waved it at the other volunteers. Good Lord, that was so freaking weird. Oh God, Natalie, see, cats know medicine. You've got medicated food for your cat and hasn't eaten for 3 days and still won't. Yeah, no, cats just know about medicine and they're being shit. Oh yeah, see, Perth, Luke, that's an interesting one. There's been different rules because obviously voting can still happen in Western Australia, and there has been some argument that you shouldn't announce anything before they close in Western Australia, but we're not stuck with that, fortunately. Jessica, hello, hello. Will Hart, Mrs. Angry, we had a good birthday. You know, we're getting anywhere. It's hard to think of what to get someone for birthday. So she said, oh, you know, take me out for a surprise. So I found a place that neither of us had been to, even though it's in our area. It's on, if you saw the picture I put on social media, it's on St Kilda Beach. And because it was a nice sunny day, I wanted to go somewhere nice. And so I booked in there and it was fucking great. Really good food. And honestly, their cocktails seemed pretty. We did have one cocktail with lunch. I feel like I could have had a couple of theirs, but I was driving home, so I didn't. Honestly, Natalie, that comment out of context is super sus. I gave her half of it by injecting it into her mouth, and she wouldn't let me give her any more. So I mix it with her food. That is an exceptionally dodgy comment out of context. Completely innocent in context, super dodgy with no context, though. Hey, look, I'm going to start, as I mean to go on, I'm going to start with a cocktail. And I was going through a whole bunch. We're going to start before any major events have happened. And when I was looking through the various cocktail recipes, I saw kamikaze, and that appealed to me as a start, with how extreme some of the stuff with the lead up to the election is. So I'm going to start with a kamikaze. Mine are the variation on a kamikaze with this blue vodka I made. This had like some blue raspberry rock candy dissolved in it, fruity flavored. So I'm going to call this one kamikaze out of the blue. So this is pretty simple. Kamikaze is pretty simple. It's like a traditional tiki one. So I'm just making it with vodka, Cointreau, and lime. Well, actually, I've got a mixed fruit juice. I juiced some fruit we had. It was mainly limes that I specifically got for their juice. There's a couple of lemons, an orange, and a pomegranate. So it's a real mixed fruit juice, but it's still dominated by the lemon lime. So I'm calling this one Kamikaze Out of the Blue, which I've never made before. This is a little variant of the traditional, but I think that's a good way to start off with how intense some of the stuff around this election being. It's like crash or crash through. And the juice. Okay. This will be either an interesting or a gross color, because that juice is really red and it might overpower the blue, so it might actually just be some gross color. We'll see. Aussie brick chick. Do cocktails make election night bearable? I hope so. I'm planning to have a couple. Natalie, you've got your white wine. That's nice. Who's it? Saw someone asking if I thought it would get called tonight. Hi, Musical Aviator. I think we will see a strong enough trend that we can be confident of the result. Might not be. Like, I might be here at 10 o'clock with no result. Oh yeah, look, it's gone super fucking weird. It's some weird kind. Oh, blue and red. I suppose purple. Purple is a predictable color. Oh, Anne's got pink Moscato. Yes, I can make a red cocktail for Labor and a blue for Liberal. I tell you what, I found one, a drink that's actually, this is a Japanese drink that's called the Liberal, and I'm going to add something bitter to it and call it a bitter Liberal, and that's what I'm going to make if it looks like going really fucking bad for them and they complain. That will be the bitter Liberal. Miss Fox question, democracy, satay, chicken and fried dim sim with no sausage. There is something about the sausage that's special, but I think I would have been okay with satay, chicken and dim sim, honestly. Albie, that sucks. No democracy nutrition at all. See, my local polling place was a school, so they do it as a fundraiser. They had a bunch of cakes and stuff, and I was super fucking disciplined and didn't buy any cakes or bickies that they had there. But I had to have a sausage. It was skinny. It's very skinny sausage. Skinnier than the most skinny cocktail. You know, and it was what it was. It was neither particularly good nor bad, but I ate it. So, oh, Natalie, sorry. Oh, I just almost vomited in my mouth when you did that. There is a cocktail called a mudslide. Natalie thinks we should make it with a chocolate shake, a Macca's chocolate shake, and call it an Engadine Macca's. Because as we all know, Scott Morrison shit his pants at Engadine Macca's. Oh my God. That really caught me badly, Natalie. Fucking Engadine Macca's chocolate shake. Ooh, that's good. That's a good one to start out the gate. Very fresh. The juice in this makes it very fresh. It's almost like I could fool myself that I wouldn't get shit-faced if I just knocked this back. But we'll pace ourselves. We will pace ourselves. Long night, long night. I would be surprised if Anthony Green's willing to make any bold statements before, but who knows? Who fucking knows? Because I was surprised by how clear the trend was in Victoria and how early they called it. I didn't even start a live stream until 8 for the Victorian state election, and he called it not long after 7. But I don't think the federal is going to be that clear, but who knows? So we will see. Lion Spider, you've joined us. Good to see you, my friend. Oh, fuck yeah, Luke, down with Clive Palmer. Clive Palmer's a piece of shit. And I hope he cops a thorough beating in the election. So, yes. Okay, the big thing. When do I think the result will be called? I don't think we'll get like a responsible Anthony Green call before 9. I could be wrong, but that's what I reckon. And hey, Mitchell and Nathan, hello to you. Safa, okay, that's interesting cities. Indy and Farah, they're two of the more interesting ones. I think that there is a chance that the seat where I am, Goldstein, which I don't think the Libs have ever lost, they might lose it, which would be great, lose that to Labor. But just across the way at Josh Frydenberg's seat, he's under severe threat from a Greens candidate. And that's going to be one of the big celebrations if Josh Frydenberg goes. He's a scalp. I mean, I swear to God, I saw so many articles, and not just in like the Murdoch shit. The fucking Fairfax was running it too. Like the idea that going after Tony Abbott was mean, and it's like, oh, his chances have been hurt by this vicious campaign. That's the fucking point of a camp. It was the Australian had this thing like, oh, this brutal campaign run against Tony Abbott has damaged his chances. That was the whole fucking point. And it's like, it's the weirdest thing. It's like they're going, oh my God, the thing these people wanted to do looks like it might happen. What's that about? Oh, Jesus. So, oh yeah, voting strange go to uni. You got to vote in your home seat, or are you registered where you're going to uni? Oh yeah, Frank. This is the thing. Yes, with the vernacular around the world, liberal, small l, means sort of lightweight progressive. Capital L liberal is our major conservative party. But yes, Lion Spider, I agree. Way too much bullshit with the electioneering. I'm so fucking glad it's over. So fucking glad it's over. Who knows what's going to happen to us from here? But yeah, I'm so glad it's happened. Roshu, wait, you're oh, okay. I just saw 9 p.m. 2 hours. I reckon. I don't think we'll get a conclusive answer in less than 2 hours. Bloodthirster, you're in a safe seat. Okay, that's cool. Harry, look, you voted Greens. You're in Corio, and you think Labor will still get in. That's why I explained to young Mr. Angry. I said, look, vote 1-2 Greens Labor or 1-2 Labor Greens, whichever way. Either way, that's kind of equivalent. Good Spirit in Michigan. Good morning to you, Byron. Oh, how do Americans stand year-long election? It's not year-long, it's 2 years. They spend 2 years and 1 year full on. That American system is fucked. Yeah, the 1 month campaigns here are enough for me. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'll be on with you. It's exciting that the Clive Palmer ads are over. We don't get them here. Rush you. Yeah, I don't blame you if you don't stay up all night. There's a thing with time zones, really. Yeah. Thank you. I like my shirt too, the Skeleton Hands shirt. Natalie, you're in a safe Labor seat. Whitlam. Catherine, I've got ABC 24 on my live stream. So if and when stuff happens, I can switch to that. Yeah, got a good old Anthony Green with his magic charts. I think it's too early. Oh, no, actually, 17% counted. That's enough for a trend. So he's showing, where I'm looking at, he's showing Bass in Tasmania. The Lib's got 45% of the primary. Oh, geez, that's almost enough. And he's saying ALP dropped quite a bit. So at this relatively early stage, he thinks the Lib's staying ahead with just over 50%. But that looks like it's going to be close. That will be interesting. Another Tasmanian one, Braddon. Now, okay, that Lib is considerably shorter of 50% of the primary vote. Oh God, boosts for One Nation and Clive Palmer in the votes. Drops for the Liberals and Labor. But then we get the distributions. That's a weird thing. The vote distribution confuses a lot of people, but it is a good system. Okay, I think it's too early to worry about his things at the moment. If anyone sees one, give me a shout. Good Spirit, you're a bit under the weather. You've lost 15 pounds. That makes me feel like you're really under the weather if you've lost that much in a week. Oh yeah, Jesus, I'm so glad I've got YouTube Premium and no ads. My fuck. Paddy, do I hate Clive Palmer? I think Clive Palmer is a hideous, narcissistic shit who needs to pay his workers the millions of dollars he owns it. I think Clive Palmer's pathetic, worthless attempt to be a bad imitation of Donald Trump shows what a fucked, worthless individual he is. That's his aspiration is to be an imitation of someone as fucked as Donald Trump. He's a piece of shit. I hope he doesn't win a single fucking seat. I agree with you, Miss Foxification. Far too often ads, besides being annoying, they have executables in them. They're malware. I'm going to have a brainwave. Not sponsored. Yes, Karankamite's a marginal one, hurry. Aussie Pagan, how has Kata been able to hold his seat? Kata is quite popular with his constituency, and people often ask me if I can say something good about someone I'm incredibly opposed to politically, and I can about Bob Kata. He seems to genuinely be extremely committed to who he believes is in his electorate. Safa, Kata is extremely conservative, yes. I believe he's genuinely committed to who he believes is in his electorate. But I think he's quite unbalanced, and he has sometimes an absolutely ridiculously wrong idea of who and what people are about. And he's prone, like, he defended fucking Fraser Anning for ages. And he's also prone to say super fucking weird shit. Like, famously, that one where he talked about people being torn apart by crocodiles was weird as fuck. But yes, I don't know. I kind of think that sometimes you might be able to sit Kata down and get him to see sense, but other times he seems completely off his trolley. Tyrannical, you've voted Greens for the first time. Well, good for you. Whoa, what's that? Good to be. You had a friend almost lost his hand in a sheet metal factory, and there's some law that protects the corporation from being sued. Complete fucking opposite here. If there's a serious accident in a workplace, in go the investigators, and if there's any evidence of negligence, the company is prosecuted. Aussie Pagan, look, nothing's for sure. I think Labor will win, and I think we will see a strong enough trend tonight to know Labor's won. But it's a wild and crazy world. Who knows what was happening? Will happen. Safi, your sister voted for the first time at 18. Same young Mr. Angry at 18 voted for the first time. And I indoctrinated him because he's voting in Kooyong. And I said, yeah, vote for the Green, because the guy who's incumbent is a complete dipshit and the Green can beat him. So that will be a little bit of excitement. Again, my definite high points for the night will be if Tony Abbott loses his seat, if Peter Dutton loses his seat, if Josh Frydenberg loses his seat. Actually, if the local guy here, I'm not that vindictive of him, it'd just be funny. Tim Wilson loses his seat. Who also? I mean, I don't think George Christensen in Queensland is going to, but it would be good if he did. Oh, and yeah, you think my lad's 18, because in my very early days on YouTube, my kids did appear in videos, and they were very young, like pre-teens. And in fact, in young Mr. Angry's case, he was under 10 when he was in a video. But then you realize, I've been on YouTube for 13 years. So, yeah, it's they've aged a lot. Tyrannical. Oh, we've talked about friendly Geordies and Isaac Butterfield and others. I don't know Isaac Butterfield well enough to say anything about him. I feel like he sicked his followers. He's one of the ones who sicked his followers onto me because he's anti-feminist. I do note that he very aggressively ditched on Fraser Anning for being a Nazi piece of shit. So he's got that going for them. Friendly Geordies is obviously a lot of his politics is very similar to mine. But I think there's divergence between us as well. But again, I don't really know him enough to say anything unequivocally. Like I feel like he's just hard down the line, sort of classical Labor Party values, which I don't have a particular problem with. But I do get the impression that let's just say his positions on things like feminism and race issues don't equate with mine. Yes. Mitchell, if no major party gets a majority, then they have to try and strike a deal with crossbenchers to support them as a minority government. Much like Julia Gillard didn't have a majority, but had a very successful government while she was in minority. Yeah, Harry, Geordie's has got a real fucking thing with the project and current affair, and I think the ABC generally. Azaro, who's winning? I think it's too early. Yeah, I don't know. Frankie, you think Mimsy should inherit the grumpy cat? She doesn't look grumpy, but she makes terribly grumpy noises. I don't think Scummo's going to lose his seat. But, oh, look, who's on the crossbench? Depends. There'll be some Greens. There'll probably be some Conservative independents. Who knows who's going to be on the crossbench this time? It's a wild and crazy world. Could be anyone. Harry, what about Saturday night? I hope he hates them. Now, but I mean, you know, people think that I automatically hate or refuse to listen to someone who doesn't agree with me 100%, and that's simply not true. I won't waste time with time wasters or trolls because, Christ, my time on the internet wasted far too much time on fucking trolls and bad faith arguing wankers, and I just won't engage with them. But if someone is wanting to have a discussion and they hold a different view to me and they want to do it in good faith, I'm perfectly happy to talk about it. It's just when someone's being an asshole or arguing in bad faith. I knew you know that misfoxification. Dirk, you hate the sound of people chewing, called misophonia. Yes, that's an actual thing. I don't think anyone's particularly fond of it, but some people have a very bad reaction. And these are very crunchy, so you're going to hear me crunching when I have one or two. So, yes. Crazy Aussie Pagan, you want to see an Oscars law party found? Expand upon it. What would an Oscars law party be? I'm interested to hear. That's an interesting evaluation, Frank. I like it. Abbott looks like Tony Blair, but sounds like Trump would in 25 years if he made it this long. Abbott has just said the dumbest shit in this campaign. Like, he did actually have you know, a town hall debate with his main competitor. And there's ridiculous thing. People say, like, because Abbott has talked absolute shit about climate change for years. And so someone put the question, where do you stand on climate change? And Zali Steggall said, we should listen to the experts who tell us what is happening. And Tony was says, well, I think we give experts too much credence. It's like, how the fuck did that ever become a talking point? And I've seen that around the world. That the Brexit fuckwits did this, and you get it with the Republicans in the US. People just saying, like, I don't want experts telling me what to. Like, literally saying, here is a complex and important issue. Here is someone who has studied on it and knows all about it, and saying, like, yeah, but just because they know all about it, I don't think we should listen to them. It's like, absolutely fucking ridiculous. Safa, open a beer if that's your thing, man. Angry ASMR Luke. I've been joking about doing that for years, and I have actually seen some of the ASMR channels do the, my joke of doing angry ASMR, you know, with my stereo microphone, who whisper on different sides of, fuck those people, I fucking hate them, they suck. And I've actually seen ASMR guys doing swearing ASMR, which is pretty funny. Yeah, Andrew Boldy's convinced he's an expert on climate change, yes. Lion Spidey saying Labor's lost Lindsay to Liberal. That, my friend, is a very nice bit of alliteration. Labour lost Lindsay to Liberal. ASMR is, it stands for something, but it's about sounds, basically. %10 of the votes counted already. Woo. It's interesting. You think there's not that much change in the primary vote. The LNP and ALP both losing about 1%. So that's interesting. In the first 10% of the vote is saying it's gone reasonably well for the coalition. So it's a thing. It's a thing. Like I said, it's not impossible that Labor loses. I'm just watching this thing of Anthony Green's. Is he going to say anything? Oh, Zali, fuck. Zali, oh my God, Tony Abbott's in so much fucking trouble. It's only 8%, so you wouldn't want to put too much on it. But Tony Abbott's in so much fucking trouble in Warringah. Like, he is in serious fucking trouble. 11% counted. Okay, do the distribution, Anthony. Oh no, he's just fucking gone across to Wentworth, which looks like another very tight one with an independent Karen Phelps and Dave Sharma from the Liberal Party. Holy shit, Tony Abbott looks like he's in very big trouble, which is humorous. Thanks, Raiders. ASMR is autonomous sensory meridian response. Yeah. Oh, wow. Natalie, if Lips, when you get an in-due card, is that the cashless welfare card? Mm. So I don't know. Anthony Green's just no. I think now he's just wandered off into some other things. No, need to wait a while until there's any definitive trend. But yes. Oh, that's an interesting one, Aussie Pagan. Your ASMR trigger is sewing tutorials. The sound of the sewing machine. God damn. Yep. No, Tony Abbott's in trouble, which is fucking harsh. Oh well, we'll see. Yeah, it's too early to say Warringah's again yet. JK, how many prime ministers? Well, God, how many years ago did John Howard lose an election? We had John Howard lost an election to Kevin Rudd. Then Kevin Rudd was such a fucking dickhead within his own party. They turned on him and replaced him with Julia Gillard. Get out of my chips, Mimsy, you bad cat. Then there was an election with Julia Gillard as Labor leader and Prime Minister, and nobody got a majority, but she formed a minority government, was very successful, but Kevin Rudd constantly undermined her and eventually convinced them to get rid of Gillard and put him back in, and then he lost the election to Tony Abbott. And then Tony Abbott was a fucking disaster as Prime Minister, and Malcolm Turnbull in the Liberal Party convinced his own party to turn on Abbott. So they dumped Abbott and went to an election with Turnbull, and they just barely scraped in with 1 seat majority. They would have got smashed if they had kept Abbott as leader. So then Turnbull was Prime Minister again, but he was very ineffective, and the right wing of his own party were constantly undermining him. And they had another leadership spill, and we ended up with Scott Morrison. And now there's an election. If the Liberals win, Scott Morrison will still be Prime Minister. If the Liberals lose, we'll have Bill Shorten. So you're talking about, okay, in 2007, we turfed out Johnny Howard. So since 2007, we've gone John Howard, Kevin Rudd, Julia Gillard, Kevin Rudd, Tony Abbott, Malcolm Turnbull, now Scott Morrison. And if Labor win this election, then we'll have Bill Shorten. So that will be 8 prime ministers in 12 years, which is a bit fucking unstable. Okay, we're now well, Jim, we're dancing on Tony Abbott's political grave at the moment, by the looks of it. So that's a bit funny. Yeah, Safa, does Kevin Rudd count as 2 PMs? That's a big question. But that's how many times if, for instance, if Labor win tonight, the number of changes in role of Prime Minister in just 12 years would go Howard, Rudd, Gillard, Rudd, Abbott, Turnbull, Morrison, and Shorten. So changing that many times in 12 years is pretty volatile. But if Labor win, I am reasonably sure no one will destabilise Shorten. But there we go. I see, Frankie, the thing is, Abbott was an incredibly effective opposition leader because he just attacked all the time. But then he was a really fucking shit Prime Minister because he was still fighting with everyone. Oh, Jim, the dirt on Abbott. Yeah, he was actually in the ministry to be a priest, and he didn't finish it. And basically, the thing is, I think he liked all the really conservative rules of the Catholic Church, but he hated the ideas of charity and giving and supporting, and he couldn't reconcile the two. So he ended up quitting the fucking ministry because they were too commie. Charlie, you're saying it looks like Dutton's going to hang on. I don't know. Would it be too early to say if Dutton's going to hang on? Let's have a look. What else? Oh, okay. Dutton's got, he's got 43% of the vote with 20% count. Okay. At this point, you see trends. Okay. Wow. Okay. They're suggesting that Dutton's getting basically all the preferences. Okay. So they're actually quite confident that Dutton's going to retain his seat, which I do find depressing. Ah, well, shenanigans. Frankie Rudd was a Labor Prime Minister. But yes. Ha! I'm musically avid. I think if Morrison wins this election, they'll be so fucking amazed and impressed he'll stay PM. It's a good point, Aussie Pagan. Even though we're forced to vote, no one forces you to vote legitimately. So you can write "fuck you all" on your ballot. It is what it is. What are they showing on the ABC now? They're showing Queensland seat of Petrie. Looks like another state. I don't know. Ooh, okay. Should we be getting nervous at this stage? It looks like the Libs are doing okay. Yeah. Although there are a lot of seats still to go. Oh my God, there's a Queensland seat called Bona. I'm sure they pronounce it Bonner, but I'm just going to say Bona because I'm very immature. That looks okay. Looks like the Libs are doing quite well in Queensland. See, for the Libs to win, they had to do surprisingly well everywhere. Now, on these early results, it looks like the Conservatives are doing better than expected in Queensland, but that's nowhere near enough. They have to do better than expected in New South Wales, much better than expected in Victoria. If things in Victoria go as badly for them as it looks like they might, Victoria alone could decide the election outcome. But and they have to do better than expected in Western Australia as well. So they need basically all four of those states to unexpectedly go in their favour or they're fucked. So, I mean, you know, more power to them if they're doing better in Queensland than expected. But the idea that they will replicate that in New South Wales, Victoria and Western Australia is unlikely. I mean, yeah, they'll treat Queensland as their saving grace. And 8242. I'm checking the ABC live stream to see the results. So for Bill Shorten, his seat is in Melbourne. I don't know if he's from Melbourne. There's these what do you got? The cute photos of him jogging in Melbourne, wearing a T-shirt that says "Vote for." Oh God, what's his wife's name? Let's just say her name is Zoe. I don't think it is, but Chloe. That's his name, Chloe Shorten. He was wearing a T-shirt that said "Vote for Chloe Shorten's husband." That was pretty funny. AngryAussie, I agree. I was really hoping Dutton got smashed, but it looks like he's doing really well, unexpectedly well, which sucks because he's fucking garbage. He is absolutely. He'll probably end. Okay, if he survives and the Libs go into opposition, there is a very high chance he will end up being opposition leader. Finish. What are you doing, Mimsy? Honestly, here's the tail. detail. Okay, one cocktail down. Well, all the ones I'm going to go. I picked a lot of these by their names because I liked the names. There's one called a Man of War. It's like if someone's putting up a really good fight, be a Man of War. That's a bourbon cocktail. And I found one called the Double Standard Sour, which I think would be a fun one about political hypocrisy, a double standard sour. One, if someone goes out, I think when someone I really dislike goes out, like Abbott, for instance, I'll do the Bums Rush. That's a tequila cocktail. So I think I'll make the Bums Rush when we confirm that someone I really don't like is out. And if it drags on for ages, I've got two: the Never Ending Story and the Long Goodbye. And if we get someone from the Liberal Party refusing to concede, or if it looks disturbingly close for Labor and I'm refusing to concede, I think I'll make one called Don't Give Up the Ship. But yes, if we get a conclusive result that says the Liberals are out, I'm going to make one called the Bitter Liberal, my variation. I think I'll make a, what should I make now? A Double Standard Sour? Are we saying Abbott's gone? If Abbott's gone, I'm making a Bums Rush. Fuck that guy. Give him the Bums Rush. Well, 50-50. My absolute two top ones I wanted to see go were Peter Dutton and Tony Abbott. Abbott's gone. I think that's the first celebration of the night if Abbott's gone. But yeah, I don't know if they're saying it on the ABC. Now, is it? I think there's like two seats. They're saying there's the famous seat in ACT, Eden Monaro, where since Federation, that's almost always gone to the party that ended up forming government. I think once recently it didn't. But there's another one that they're saying the party that formed government has won this seat every time for like the last 30 years or something. I don't remember. Okay. I think if we're confirming, okay, yes, Scott Morrison maintains his seat. Boo. Corangamite, that was one of the interesting ones. ABC saying they predict the ALP will retain that. And Corio and Victoria. See, okay, Victoria is where it gets interesting because there could be such a swing in Victoria against the government that Victoria alone could lose the election, which would make me super proud being someone who lives in Victoria at the moment. But I don't know, I look up on my phone. Are we definitely saying? Wait, I'm going to take this off Wi-Fi to stop it being clogged. I'm going to go on the Googles. Tony Abbott result. Big swing against Tony Abbott. Ooh. Yes, I think Eden Monaro is saying ALP. Okay, I just saw one saying ALP retain Eden Monaro, and that's the one that is usually against the government. Not now because ALP had it, so yeah. Okay, so at this point, no matter what happens from here, it doesn't look like the coalition are going to get humiliated with the result. So yeah. Oh yeah, Kev was going to join me on the live stream, Frank. He wasn't very well, and I said, "Well, you want to look after yourself." Okay, so okay, if we're going to declare, I think we're all dancing on. We'll look silly if it ends up not happening, but I don't mind. I'm gonna, and also because this sounds like a pretty wild drink, the Bum's Rush, it's a tequila-based one. Honey liqueur. Got to think of it. Killer Mac, you think a hung parliament looks a possibility? It's always been a possibility, but we're way too early to make that call yet. I'm trying to think, what can I do that I might do the elderflower? That's quite sweet. It's not honey, but it's sweet. What am I supposed to put in this again? Tequila Cointreau and something honey-ish. Oh my God, it's saying 60% to Stegel with the preferences distributed. So what are you saying ABC called for Abbott? You think they're called against him or for him? Hey, Pat, Wrestling Days, how's it going, buddy? It's very interesting how, because of the distribution and these new independent parties, all the major parties lost some of their primary vote, and things like One Nation and Clive Palmer took a couple of % of the vote, which ultimately will probably be very inconsequential. Former PM Tony Abbott's lost his seat. Fuck yeah. Blow the vuvuzelas. The ABC has done it. Yep. Okay. Okay, I'm going to make the Bum's Rush. I have to decide what to put in it. What do I put in? Aperol. I think I'll put this in. And where? Okay, I've got this dirty tequila I made because it's flavored. That's tequila. So tequila and this, and what else am I meant to put in it? Lime. Okay, that's all good. Where's my cocktail shaker? Okay, I'll put a bit of ice in here. Shaky, shaky. Dropped a bit of ice. That's okay. All right. So the Bum's Rush for Abbott because he's out the fucking door. Abbott is out the fucking door. Okay, I love it. I love it so much. Where's my tequila? My dirty tequila. All right. A little bit extra of the tequila. We got tequila. That's a big question, Safa. What's Abbott's retirement plan? Straight to Sky News, I reckon. I reckon Abbott's is straight to Sky News, where he will possibly do more damage. But that's okay. Line Spider, that's calling for your first rum. Okay, I'm going to put some of this elderflower in here because I don't have any honey liqueur, and this is sweet. So, these guys are going to make onion and potato soup. I like it. Put that in, and then a bit of the lime juice as well. Okie dokie, bit of the lime juice. All right, now we do the shaky, shaky, shaky. Tyrannical, do I think having the Greens for the hung parliament for one term would be good for the country? Worse things could happen. I'm not completely opposed to either major party not having a clear majority and having to work with independents or minor parties to convince them to support their plans, in all honesty. All right. The Bums Rush cocktail, dedicated to Tony Abbott. Don't let the door hit your bum on the way out, Turns. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Frank, I like that. Onion potato soup, code for cutting up Anisian and Kevin Logan to make soup out of them. Well, could be. Oh God, musical elevator. Yes, just remember there was a period, oh God, it was years ago now, but because journalists kind of didn't accept his bullshit answer and pushed him on it, and he couldn't cope with it. There was this really fucking weird video of Tony Abbott being able to respond at all to a reporter for 30 seconds. And there's just this weird fucking shit where he's got this bobblehead action going. It's like, because he's so affronted by this reporter not just accepting what he said and continuing to press him, that you can see he wants to get violent. He wants to fucking hit the guy. And his brain's going, you can't. He's going, I want to, you can't. I want to hit him, you can't. And is this absolutely surreal thing where he's completely unable to function for 30 seconds. It was really fucking weird. Wow, Mimsy's decided to come back. You want some attention? Meow, 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 Mimsy. Yes, we're all looking at those early predictions. ABC has 59 LNP and 50 Labour. Look, at this point, the Libs are doing better than they might have. Fuck me, in Higgins, they had an almost 10% swing against them to Labor. That's frigging huge. No, not enough for Labor to actually win the seat, but Jesus, a 10% swing against you in a safe seat. And that's actually only 15% of the vote counted. So that could that could change either way. That could change either way. It could go more in favour of the Liberal or more in favour of the Labor. But like, that was a very, very safe Liberal seat. Oh my God! Now talking about McNamara with his Kate Ashmore, who pissed everyone off. Like, she made people very fucking angry. And look at some of these Victorian results now. Wow, primary vote, ALP and Lib neck and neck, but a huge Green vote, which is almost certainly all going to go to Labor. That is very interesting, like 34% Liberal, 34% Labor, and then 20-something% Labor. And that's an actual 9% swing to Labor. Jesus. Okay. So, yeah. Fucking hell. On two-party preferred, that gives Labor 60% of the vote. Well, that's fairly fucking crushing. I mean, again, that's early. That's only 7.5% of the vote. So that could change. But that's a pretty fucking devastating early figure. Ooh, this is the one, Melbourne, which Labor didn't even run in because Adam Bant for the Greens has got it. Oh yeah, Luke Creasy had to drop out because of his. Oh, it looks like, wow, it looks like Adam Bant's got a solid more than 50% of the primary vote. That's not easy to do. So that looks like the Greens keep Melbourne. 3% swing in strengthening their position in the seat of Melbourne. Go the Greens. I'm trying to think. Okay, Isaacs was very safe. Let's see. maybe actually I should bring up ABC 24 on my phone. That might be better. I might try that. Okay, I'm going to try that. ABC 24 live stream. Ugh, I did a typo. Okay. Oh, I need the iView app. Don't I have the iView app? I thought I had the iView app. I have the iView app. There we go. Technology is confounding me. Okay, it's taken fucking forever. Okay, the live stream. Okay, I'm going to switch off the live stream on my laptop, which might free things up. This might actually be faster. Look it on my phone. Okay, no. ABC iView. Let's go. Yes, yes, yes. I'm fine. Watching this over my. Okay. I'll switch the sound off. Okay. Yeah, this might work better. I can keep the thing. Login's admin. The password is password. Yes, it is true. Catherine, you think mathematicians and statisticians love the election result? Oh, Anthony Green loves it. Anthony Green wants to marry election night. So we're down to the ABC saying 30 in doubt. Be very interesting to see which way those 30 go. Mimsy's decided to turn her back on us and settle down. Fair enough. Be like that, Mimsy. Yes, Shazzy, this is Anthony Green's waifu. Definitely. At this point, I reckon in, the official party events, I reckon the Libs are at this point getting cautiously hopeful and Labor are getting nervous as fuck. Timothy's saying RIP Grumpy Cat. Yes, Grumpy Cat did lie. Die. Okay, so what's it? It's like you got to get 76 for a majority. So we're a little ways off anyone approaching that. It's pretty wild. Hooray, a hung parliament, that's a possibility. I was trying to say, I've heard that if a cat is willing to turn their back on you, it means they trust you. So who knows? So I've got the sound off on the ABC. Oh, what the fuck is that? Okay, just one of the clever graphics on the ABC. I thought something weird had happened to my phone. But yes. Womp womp. So we're still predicting Tony Abbott to lose. That's one high point so far. Gecko, you're falling asleep. That's okay. Been driving all day and it's 5 a.m. now. Gecko, I've got that and another thing I have to listen to, and I haven't listened to it yet. I have to get onto it. I did get your link. Thank you. Okay, Anthony Green's now looking at the chamber. Saying 61 Lib, 56 Labor. Now he's going likely 62, 58. So he's loosened it a little bit. And Labor pick up a bit more if he's a bit looser with it. But yeah, there's still, you've got to get to 76. Pat, you want a YouTube meetup? Probably next month, like June. Got a thing. Fox, you prefer the guillotines to a hung parliament? Yeah, well, some of them are going to ask for it. So Anthony Green's talking about state swings. 2.2% to Labor in Victoria, not particularly surprising. Swing to the Libs, 4% in Queensland. Again, not hugely surprising. What's Tas? That's 2.9% to Labor. That's good. That's not what the Libs want. Natalie, why are people voting Liberal? Because they don't realise how fucking cruel Liberal Party policies are, or they're totally on cool with it. That's interesting. They're showing a lot of the government marginal seats the Libs are keeping, and they're winning a few from Labor. Honestly, I think people in the Liberal Party gathering would be feeling cautiously hopeful at the moment. It's way too early to tell, but I think people in the Liberal Party camp would be feeling cautiously hopeful at the moment. And honestly, I think people in the Labor camp would be feeling a bit fucking insecure right now. We will have to see what happens in like the next hour. The next hour will make things more clear, I think. Shirazi, Anthony Green won't call it for a while. Looking at these numbers, 30 still in doubt. And based on their figures, if we say if their figures are right, the Libs have to win like they've just given one more to the Libs, I think. But the Libs have to win 15 more seats and Labor have to win, what's that, 18 more out of the 27. Oh, okay. I just saw the ABC did a live cross to Zali Steggall's campaign headquarters, and they're all going wild because they offed Tony Abbott, which is, of course, fucking hilarious. That'd be the thing. Even if the Libs manage to retain government, at least they'd get to laugh at Tony Abbott's expense. Donald Trump, you've been banned on 3 streams. If you're going to be a fucking troll, you can fuck off because you're a boring, worthless cunt, okay? It's as simple as that. If you're a boring, pathetic, worthless troll piece of shit, you can fuck off. You got nothing to offer to anyone. Actually, in your life, you've got nothing to offer everyone. You are the type of person who people generally fucking wish would fuck off, okay? Oh, you're not a troll. Listen, cunt features. You come here, because the leftist giving you 2 cents on why it's the oppressive government. Get fucked, you rancid little fucking shit monkey cunt. Okay? Fuck you. Either shut the fuck up, stop trolling, or get the fuck out, you worthless fucking sad loser piece of fucking shit. Oh, okay, what does munted use? That's a word I use. It means fucked up, basically. Can literally mean drunk, but you can colloquially just generally messed up. So that's a classic Australian phrase, that someone's munted. Oh my God, how do these fucking losers not understand how fucking boring they are? Harry Nick, yes, a Tony-less LNP is indeed slightly better. Oh, you found a definition, misclassification. Munted refers to the property of an object or person as broken, ruined, significantly damaged, disfigured or deformed, often to the extent it's not reversible or repaired. Yeah, munted is fucked up. Yeah. Music. I don't know what was wrong with that particular individual, but they were a sad individual. So now the ABC is saying 61 Lib, 58 Labor. I want to see the blue ribbon seats in Melbourne, and that's Kooyong and Goldstein, basically. Because those would be funny ones. That would be my second laugh and celebration if Josh Frydenberg loses Kooyong, because he would lose that to the Greens, which would be fun. Yes, Snafu. Snafu and Fubar are military acronyms. Yes, misfoxication. Snafu is situation normal, all fucked up, and Fubar is fucked up beyond all recognition. I have to admit, I love the way people in the US military talk. Albie, I think you may be right that nobody's getting a very convincing majority. There's a way still to go. I mean, the ABC saying 26 seats in doubt. It depends how that distribution goes. It could go evenly. It could go wild. Mike, who's winning? It's pretty even at the moment. Yeah, Catherine, I thought George Christensen would keep his seat. I had an outside hope he might lose because he's such a fucking piece of shit. But I'm not surprised he kept it. Oh, Catherine, your one, Susfu. Situation unchanged. Still fucked up. Yeah, Shirazi. The big not winner of the night is Tony Abbott. Yeah. So what are we, 8? So Western Australia's closed now. So they'll start counting in Western Australia now. That was one of the ones where the Libs had to do better than expected. So it will be interesting to see if they do. There will be one of the deciding things, but I'm really keen to see if the Libs lose their blue ribbon seats, particularly Kooyong and Goldstein. Alliance Buddy is saying Barnaby Joyce has a swing in his favour. Yeah, well, that's shit, isn't it? Speaking of people, he is so convinced he should be leader of the National Party again, which is fucking wild. But anyway. What misfoxication? What seat is that? Yang and Lu. It's I'm having trouble keeping track of everything. Mike, if all you've got is really fucking stupid, pathetically uninformed, racist talking points, just fuck off. No one's interested in you, okay? It's just fucking boring. Oh, okay, she's the one who's doing the WeChat shit, yes. It is really fucking weird, the degree to which the Libs targeted the Chinese community with lies. It's really fucking weird. Harui, that's a good question. Any news on Palmer United Party seats? I don't think they're going to get any. I hope they don't get any. We will see. There's a weird thing the Libs stuck up on one of the seats with the big Chinese community, something in the same colors as the Electoral Commission, saying in Chinese, like, the correct way to vote is put a 1 next to Liberal and then number the other squares. And it's like, I have no idea how they're fucking getting away with that. That's a scam. But anyway, we'll see. So let's see. ABC is saying 25 seats still in doubt, and you need to get to 76 to have a majority. Yeah, it will be interesting to see. So of those 25, the Libs need another 14, and the Labour need another 17. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it happens. What are you doing, Mimsy? Why are you doing that? Why would you do that? Mike, you are literally being an ignorant, ill-informed, racist fuckwit. Okay? I'm not going to fucking pretend you're not. You are being really fucking stupid, really fucking racist, and really fucking ignorant. And I've got zero fucking patience for that sort of brain dead shit. Yeah, I saw that thing that Ms. Fox, actually, the AAC said those things didn't do anything wrong. And it's not so much the colors, but the fact that it explicitly said the correct thing to do was put a 1 for the Liberals. That's dodgy. Okay, you're a worthless fucking racist cunt, Mike, and you're gone. What the fuck? I mean, I just have so little patience for those people. Okay, so what's happening? I got Anthony Green's doing hand gestures on my phone. I don't know what he's doing. He's doing this. I like hand gestures. I talk with hand gestures as well. But I want to see. Yes, Shazi, a big question would be, why was that stupid fucking racist piece of shit even bringing that up? Which is, it's because he's a racist fucking moron. Fox, which report are you watching out of interest? South Australia, Boothby. For some reason, I know the name Boothby. Like, that gets a lot of discussion. Ooh, that looks like a pretty close one. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, I think the Lib's in trouble there. I don't know who held that seat. But is that one of the ones, like, was that someone well-known left the seat of Boothby? Okay. Ooh, whatever Boothby is, he's looking like a tight fight with the ALP ahead on the two-party preferred. Okay, this is one thing. Christopher Pyne retiring. Has Christopher Pyne retiring had any negative effect on his seat of Sturt? Let's have a look. Looks like it might have. Okay, the Libs got 47% of the primary. That might not. Oh, that could be enough, actually. That could be enough. I'd be very interested to see what the two-party preferred is. Okay, come on. Tell me what the two-party preferred is. I can't work it out. Okay, this. Oh no, that's actually looking like a comfortable retain for the Libs. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure how big an impact Christopher Pyne retiring would have. Oh yes, I know. I timed it earlier. And what I'm seeing via internet's about a minute behind the live stream. Kelu, I am not surprised. You're saying the ABC stream is just a complete shit show. I'm not surprised at all. Yeah, I before I went live, I timed how much delay there was between what I was seeing over the internet from the ABC and what was going on the TV. And it looked like the internet feed was about a minute behind the TV feed. So yes, if you're watching TV, you'll see things about a minute before I do. Well. It's still close. Okay. I still say the in the Liberal Party, the coalition campaign headquarters, they would be feeling cautiously optimistic. They'd be feeling cautiously good, and people in the Labor camp would be feeling a bit fucking insecure at the moment. Luke, I'm 30 minutes ahead of you. Preparing the eggs. Oh, yes, absolutely. There's no way to call it at the moment. I think we're a ways off calling. I would be super surprised if Anthony Green is prepared to call it before 9. Like, I'd be super surprised if Anthony Green calls it in less than an hour. Oh, no. Yeah. I've finished another cocktail. I'll have to make another one. I'm not even very drunk yet. I need to make another one. What can I make? I made a kamikaze. I made a bum's rush for Tony Abbott. The Never-Ending Story. I think I should do one of the ones that suggest this is dragging on at the moment. The Never-Ending Story, which is a rum-based one, or The Long Goodbye. Vodka, vermouth. Actually, I haven't. Oh, geez, I don't know. The Never-Ending Story has absinthe in it, which I like. Luke, I am not doing shots, Luke. We've had this discussion about Penny Wong before. She's probably my favorite politician, but I wouldn't subject her to the shit she'd get as leader. Hey, Brett, how you doing? Oh, Safa, Trolls, it's the same one person. The Trolls is the same one person. The sort of sad fuck who has a whole bunch of accounts doing. Brett, I am pro-Labor in this election. It's very interesting at the moment how it's going. Anyone else can do shots. I'm not doing shots. What do I do? Because this is dragging on that we don't know. Should I do The Long Goodbye, which is vodka, vermouth, and chartreuse, or The Never-Ending Story, which is rum, creme de cacao, and a little bit of absinthe? I've already had a rum cocktail. Maybe I should do that. I don't know. Okay, a vote from the audience. Should I do The Never-Ending Story, which is rum, creme de cacao, and a bit of absinthe and some lime, or A Long Goodbye, which is vodka, vermouth, and chartreuse? The short shot. Roshu, all the hype about absinthe is just that, hype. And it doesn't make people hallucinate. It's just a very high alcohol herbal beverage. That whole thing about making people hallucinate and go crazy and whatnot is just hype. All right, I'm going to go for The Never-Ending Story, the absinthe one. I do like absinthe. Okay, and it's a rum-based one. Okay, so it's rum, creme de cacao, lime, and then a splash of absinthe. Oh, I know what I'll do. Okay. Where's my cocktail shaker? There it is. I'm fucking on top. Yeah, Albie, it's surprising that there aren't as many changes as people were expecting. You are definitely right. Okay, I need to put a bit of ice in this. What do I want? I want rum and the creme de cacao, which are up there behind. I need to get some drinks. Okay. I get some ice. I think I should do the Kraken, the black spiced rum. It's going to be a very dark drink. I'll get the Kraken's spiced rum. Absinthe and creme de cacao. Where's the creme de cacao? Where's the... I've got too much booze. I can't find anything. Wait, there's the absinthe. Okay. Where is the creme de cacao, which is like a chocolate flavored one? Where's the creme de cacao? Where's the creme de cacao? Someone's stolen my creme de cacao. There is an international gang of creme de cacao thieves, and they've got my creme de cacao. Seriously, why can't I find it? There it is. Bloody hell. Okay. Safa, have your second beer. And you're full of veal and mushroom sauce. And you voted for the Socialists. Good for you. That's your thing. I'm not going to hold that against you. Okay, so got my jigger. Okay, rum, the Kraken. Roshu, okay, have a good night. Okay, so we've got rum, some Kraken black spiced rum. Let's do that. Oh, the never-ending story, creme de cacao, lime. Okay. I'm gonna do this. I think after this one, I'm going to be officially. I mean, I wouldn't drive a car at the moment, but I think after this one, I'm going to be officially. I am as Voxcation. That's a fun one. The LaRouche movement, which is a really old, weird, paranoid conservative group prone to conspiracies, and they do keep cropping up. Brett, who voted Labor? Look, the majority of people who watch me, a part of my community, would be Labor or Greens, and there'll be some people who didn't, and that's cool. I just don't like arseholes. Okay, so I put that in, and I need to put the lime in. This is going to be a dark colored cocktail. And where is my... it's over here. My agave syrup. And where were you that LaRouche people tried to convert you? I'm just kind of interested where you would be that LaRouche people. Brett, look, honestly, dude, if you vote Liberals, that's your thing. That's okay. I do completely disagree. But if you're not going to be a complete douchebag, I don't mind. That's fine. Yeah, like I said, the Liberals are probably feeling pretty good at the moment. We will see what happens. I had always said, while I was reasonably sure Labor would win this election, but it wasn't impossible for the Liberals to retain government. Yeah, Brett, look, discussion I am all down for, including with people I disagree with. Just when someone's going to be a stupid douchebag troll, I've got no time. No time at all. So that's my drink. Well, it's a nice color. Look at this. It's a bit redder on mine. It looks a bit orange on the screen. Okay, and I'm going to dribble a bit of absinthe on the top. Irish, you worried about the results so far? Look, you know, try to predict things, you're wrong. Suffer do I vote below the line? Not on the Senate paper. There's too many fucking people on it. But oh, see, now I've got that little red bit on the top. That's my absinthe on the top. Ooh. So am I going to be celebrating, or am I going to be drowning my sorrows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Albie, that's a good point. The result is likely to be close. So if someone does get a majority, it's going to be slim, and they're probably going to be a bit nervous about by-elections over the next 3 years. You're absolutely right. Oh man, that's good. And floating the absinthe on the top gives it real bite. Okay, I'm just seeing the New England, and it looks like Joyce has got over 50% of the primary vote, so he's fucking super safe. Yeah, no, Barnaby Joyce is a fucking scumbag. And you think if the smaller conservative parties make gains, that'll suit your thesis? Okay, cool. Oh yes, Harry, worried about double dissolution triggers. Trenica, what happened in Queensland? There's a pretty strong swing to the Conservatives in Queensland. Okay, I'm now putting it out there that by the time I finish this, I think I would be declared officially drunk. So that's okay. Ah, and you did a thesis on conspiracy theories. I like that. Sweet Tulip, my cat's name is Mimsy. She's at the moment got her back to us, but occasionally she turns around and wants me to scratch her. Brett, what I was saying earlier, you're saying there should be an alternative centre-right party. What I was saying earlier is I am quite okay with a future where neither of the major parties gets a majority and they have to cut a deal with independents, whether it's, you know, like the Conservative coalition has more seats and so they work as a minority government with Conservative independents, or the Labor Party has the most seats and they work with other people on the crossbench. I'm actually completely okay with a major party having to actually form either not necessarily a formal coalition, but to govern as a minority with the support of independents or smaller parties. I'm completely okay with that. This Foxification, you do raise a good point. There have been points in history where there have been very important but arguably unpopular or expensive policies, and it's hard to put them in place without a majority. But yeah, I'll switch you. Yes, Mimsy is quite popular. At some point, she'll turn around and start demanding that I scratch her. But yeah. Ooh. Okay, I'm just throwing it out here. We did a vote on what drink I would make next, and we went with the Never-Ending Story, and it's fucking great, quite honestly. This is a really good drink. Yeah, I grew up in the country, and yeah, very left-wing, despite having grown up in the country. The Australian Conservatives, is that, do you mean generally Conservative parties, or are you talking about Corey Fuckhead's party? Oh, Sweet Tulip, what's in the drink? This is a cocktail called the Never-Ending Story because the results for this election are dragging on, although the Libs are doing increasingly well. Might get to see me drown my sorrows tonight. Never-Ending Story, it's got rum, creme de cacao, lime juice, and a little splash of absinthe on top. Catherine, yes, I would think that Labor might improve both the NBN and the NDIS. I genuinely worry for what's going to happen if the coalition retain government. But we'll see. We will absolutely see. It's still very up in the air at the moment. A very tension-filled night. Brett, you are right that a lot of the regional areas vote national, but certainly in the last decade, I think a lot of people in regional areas have started to go, the Nationals aren't doing shit for us. They do whatever the Liberal Party tells them to. And I think that's why we might get some more independent Conservatives in some of the country areas. Yeah, like Newtown voting Greens. Yeah, like the Greens retained the seat of Melbourne. That's their only confirmed seat at the moment. Oh, Zafra, they're announcing Tony Abbott on TV soon. That would be fucking hilarious. I want to see that fucking prick's face. I hate him so much. Yes, let's all gloat. Tony Abbott doing the walk of shame. Fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. Lion Spider, did the shooter Farmer Fisher party not do any good? Sorry, it is very shallow to indulge in Schadenfreude and be quite spiteful about enjoying the pain of people, no matter how fucked they are. But Tony Abbott is a real fucked unit, and if nothing else that I like comes out of tonight, him losing his seat is a plus. Fuck me. Okay, I think if things don't swing back to Labor in the next half hour, you can officially call me worried. Still 23 undecided according to the ABC. So again, throwing it out to the world, this is a good drink. My version of the never-ending story. It's got rum, creme de cacao, lime juice, and a splash of absinthe, and some sugar syrup. It's very good. Oh, you reckon Abbott's telling people he reckons the LNP have won the election? That's a bold call. Might be right. He absolutely might be right. I'm feeling a bit worried at the moment. So hang on. Not sure if I had a drink, but if I was really upset at the result. Oh, don't give up the shit. Brett, oh yeah, look, all the polls and exit polls did say that Labor were probably going to win. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Shorten said this morning he thought he'd won. Yeah, Miguelis, the boogies would be worried because they gave very long odds on the LNP. And in fact, one of them to get some publicity, I talked about this on Thursday night, one of them to get some publicity paid out some bets on Labor. So that would be a double bummer if they paid out some bets that turned out to not actually win, and then they had to pay out longer odds bets that did win. Now, I reckon if it drags on and there's not an absolutely definite result, but it doesn't look good for Labor, I think for myself, I'll make a don't give up the ship, which is, I'm going to make it with vodka, Cointreau, Lillet Blanc, and a little bit of Fernet Branca, which is very bitter, which will be me. I was going to make that joke about the Liberals being bitter if they lost but refused to concede. But if it's me who's refusing to give up the shit. So one thing, I always try to be honest. I never do anything as stupid as say I'm unbiased, I'm impartial, because I'm not. And people who say they are tend to really shit me, actually. because particularly commentators, I'm thinking particularly on YouTube, people say, ooh, I'm showing both sides, or I'm impartial. They're actually usually just pandering to really fucking awful people. To not have any integrity and commitment really annoys me. Natalie, oh, Michael Hing got disqualified. He's a friend of your sister's. Okay. What did I miss from Brett? Everyone's going Brett, Brett, Brett. Is the Communist Party banned in Australia? No, no, no. There are some people who openly call themselves communists and socialists running in this election. They won't get anywhere. They won't get anywhere. But no, we have a Communist Party and we have socialist parties and whatnot. They're just not particularly meaningful in our particular. Jewel, you like my T-shirt? I like my T-shirt too, the skeleton hands. Brett, legitimate question. Is there a Communist or National Socialist Party? There are socialists running in the election. I'm sure there is a group that call themselves the Communist Party and think, I'll switch you. What are those are fridge magnets. That's artwork someone. Oh, look, I'll show you. It's cartoon artwork someone did for me years ago. And that's like a He-Man version of me. And that's AngryAussie there. And there's a little Mistress M cyborg there. This is from years ago when I had AngryAussie and Mistress M on my channel more often. It's a fridge magnet, big fridge magnet. Hey, and as I was saying, send me a postcard. You find my post office box on my YouTube videos, and I'll send you one. By National Socialists, you mean Nazis? No, there's no Nazi party here. But there are people who call themselves socialists who are running in the thing here. Brett, I don't know what you're saying. The Nazis of World War II called themselves the National Socialist Party. They, in fact, infiltrated and took over the Workers' Party. And they commandeered some of the populist policies and slogans of the Workers' Party to become an extreme right-wing fascist group. And yeah, although they call themselves the National Socialist Party, they weren't socialists. They were extreme right-wingers, and they were fascists. They were the Nazis. So when, Brett, when you say stuff about National Socialists, people want to know, are you talking about Nazis or socialists? Because the Nazis deliberately, fraudulently took over the Workers' Party and then went with the name of National Socialist Party, even though they were actively opposed to the socialist agenda. Yes, I think everyone in Australia is agreeing Fraser Anning is a piece of shit. The milkshake thing, that's really funny because we're all laughing at, you know, Fraser Anning got egged and whatnot. But the thing that started happening in the UK with Tommy Robertson and fucking sad fuck of arse-hats having milkshakes thrown at them, the degree to which the ultra right wingers are now scared of milkshakes is hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. But like I saw a post on Twitter today. This woman, she's a historian and an author, and there was a protest outside. I think good old Stephen Yaxley Lennon is back in court being prosecuted, and his supporters are there and his opponents were there. And this woman, for a laugh, had made this huge prop of fake milkshake, and Tommy Robinson supporters were getting really upset, saying that's traumatizing. That's really upsetting and whatnot. And it's just like they're getting upset at a prop milkshake. It's like, fucking hell. It's just, it's hilarious the degree to which, and in Melbourne, people, there's a group, it's run by a guy I know, Yard, yelling at racist dogs. And they've become so well known for just yelling at the racist and the ultra right wingers, the fascists and white supremacists who've been having their little public rallies, that they kind of lose their shit if they see a Yard t-shirt now. So the next time the fuckwit, racist, Nazi-loving shitbags have an event, I want to go there wearing both a Yard t-shirt and just sipping on a milkshake and see them fucking lose it. Brett, if you want to say dumb shit, that's up to you. Tommy Robinson is a lying, racist, Nazi-sympathizing, cowardly cunt. He's absolutely vile shit. And I have zero interest whatsoever in schisms between the different flavor of worthless, despicable, vile, right-wing, white supremacist cunts. I don't care if there are splits between them. I don't care if there are disagreements among them. Every single one of them is worthless fucking garbage, utter fucking filth, and utterly beneath contempt. Liars, scum fucks, cowards, worthless fucking pieces of shit. And yes, I've seen, I mean, we had the hilarity in Australia of an extreme right-wing Zionist, little Avi Yemeni, who I assume it's an accurate thing that he claims that he actually served with the Israeli military because he's that much of a Zionist. And he started teaming up with actual neo-Nazis, people who have swastika tattoos, people who worship Hitler, because they were united in not liking Muslims. And then he's surprised when there's some blowback that the people he's been arm in arm with at far-right rallies, while he's a Zionist, they are actual Hitler-worshipping Nazis. It's absolutely fucking bizarre. It's like the super weird thing you get in the US of particularly evangelical Christians who, you know, deep down believe Jewish people are the Antichrist, but they'll become rabid supporters of Israel because they've got this weird apocalyptic view of the Bible, where the state of Israel has to exist for the end days to come about. And so while they straight up hate Jewish people, they support the state of Israel because it fits in their bizarre apocalyptic cult. It's really fucking weird. Fury, I should pet my cat. Okay, Mimsy. Meow. People say I should pet you. She does like it. She's very fond of it. Safa, yes, Israel is far right. Israel is absolutely far right. Meow. Albie, I think you are spot on right. The independents are going to have a lot of friends. Brett, you're right that while Tommy Robinson is on the extreme right, there are other people on the extreme right don't like him, wouldn't like him if he was a Zionist. But I also say I do not fucking care about schisms within the far right. Every single one of them is worthless, fucking despicable scum. I do laugh about them. I do laugh at how fucked up. Jason, American athlete and nationalists hate Israel. What are you doing? I'm talking about there being a schism between the extreme right. and particularly in America, evangelical Christians and the mainstream of the Republican Party being very aggressively pro-Israel. But you get these people who, honestly, they hate Jewish people. They are deeply anti-Semitic, but they are aggressively pro-Israel because it fits into their weird fucking apocalypse cult. It is super fucking strange to see. Safa, will I stay longer than 10? I don't know. I honestly don't know. You know, at the moment, Liberal Party supporters can laugh at me. And again, I'm completely honest. If the current government retain government, I will be fucking devastated. I will be super upset. I will be extremely worried for this country's future if that happened. That would be fucking bad. So yeah, Liberal Party supporters at the moment get to laugh at me because it's a bit fucking scary at the moment. And if the Libs retain government, I'll be super fucking upset. I said that in the lead up. While I never expected them to retain government, it was possible they would. And if they do, the supporters of the government get to laugh at me and I can go, you're upset now. Because I am. I will be absolutely upset. And you've read The New World Order by Pat Robertson. And it's less wacky than you might expect. That's interesting because Pat Robertson, I do expect to be pretty fucking wacky. Jason, you're saying America supports Israel because it suits their geopolitical interests in the Middle East. That's true. And you are, see, I think you're oversimplifying it. There are obviously the pro-Nazi ethno-nationalists in the US hate Israel just because of the Jews. But there is this weird double think that a lot of people do that while being deeply anti-Semitic, they are pro-Israel. And yeah, to me, it's super fucking weird. Absolutely super fucking weird. Oh, and that's what you're saying about Robertson. He's nice and kind in old-fashioned pity the brown people paternalistic way. Okay. Wow, I just seen something come. The Queensland seat of Herbert is absolutely razor thin. Wow. Okay. That's like super tight. Okay. No one's anywhere near on primary vote. I'm just waiting to see when they split it to two-party preferred, how they see it going. There was actually someone called Blackadder running for the seat. Sorry, I'm just laughing. There was someone called Blackadder running for the Greens in Queensland. That appeals to me. I'm just throwing it out there. Two-party preferred. Yeah, they're saying the LNP. I thought that looked like the LNP were going to get it. Dang, that's a big. Yeah, Queensland has swung quite a bit to the Conservatives, which is not hugely surprising for Queensland. But yeah. See, misfoxification, what you say is exactly what I worry about. If the Libs win, this thing of lurching to the extreme right, they're going to take it as validation and they're going to keep doing it. You're right, Wallace. He may have had a brilliant plan. Blackadder for the Greens may have had a brilliant plan. The Queensland seat of Longman is looking like an LM. Yeah, the Conservatives are doing very well in Queensland. Well, still remains to be seen what's going to happen. Fuck me. I imagine things are very tense in the actual official party room shit. Oh, here's an interesting one. I'm seeing the New South Wales seat of Lindsay, where the retiring MP Emma Hussar went through a bunch of shit with the party, which was very controversial. God, and the Libs have almost got 50% of the primary vote. God damn. What's a two-party preferred? A Liberal gain. Fucking hell. I don't know. The Liberals are looking really good at the moment, which I'm like super upset by. We have to make a cocktail for how bitter I feel. I'm looking at the things that I made. Here's one that I've never made, actually. I like a whiskey sour, and this one's called a double standard sour because it has another spirit along with whiskey. I might make that because I'm feeling sour. Oh, God damn it. This is not looking good. Okay. This is like God damn. Oh. God damn, this is looking bad. Okay. Super depressing. Yay. I've put myself on a live stream where I'm like staring down the barrel of a super depressing result. Yay. Fucking hell. Okay. So I think at the moment, probably in the actual sort of official party headquarters, the Libs Conservatives are getting progressively more drunk and happy, and Labor's probably getting more drunk and desperate. So it's a long way from being certain, but I think, like I've been saying for about the last hour, the Liberals would be being cautiously, or possibly even less than cautiously optimistic at the moment, and Labor would be getting really fucking worried. I think Labor would be super fucking nervous at the moment. A long way from being determined, a very long way from being determined. But I think I'm picturing the mood. I'm picturing the mood in the Conservative party room is like, and the mood in the Labor Party rooms is like, not necessarily going off a cliff, but going down, not good. This is looking like a super not good result at the moment. Albie, booth in the Cocos Islands don't close for another 40 minutes. I'm sure they will have a very big effect on things. Fucking hell, the ABC is now saying 67 to Lib 60 Labor. That's been the trend all fucking night. So not good, not good, not good. I think this is a whole bunch of not good. Oh, Frank, the coalition, to explain for anyone who doesn't know, the coalition, the Conservative coalition is made of two different political parties that have an agreement to work together. The Liberal Party is essentially based in urban areas, and the National Party, which used to be called the Country Party, is essentially based in country areas. So the Conservatives, when they form a government, they form it as a coalition with the Liberal Party and the National Party, whereas Labor are a single party. Again, they tend to be, most of their seats are in the urban areas, but they do win some seats in regional areas as well. Yeah, Brett, you maybe get to that. You maybe get to do the big happy dance, Brett, and fucking good luck to you. Visible Chicken, apologising often. Queensland, I was super disappointed Peter Dutton didn't get kicked out, but Queensland seems to have swung quite significantly in the Conservative direction. This is looking super not good. Again, not conclusive, but not fucking good. Definitely not what I expected as a result. But I always acknowledged it was a possible outcome. And hey, if the Libs end up coming, if the coalition ends up coming out on top, you know, fucking Morrison's going to jizz in his pants because it's a very unlikely win. Gecko, red and blue. Yeah, basically when we talk about red and blue, broadly, the Labor Party equates to the Democrats in the US, and the Conservative coalition equate to the Republicans. So we broadly have the same sort of division. In England, they have the Tories, the Conservatives, and Labor, the other side. It is looking pretty it's now looking like virtually the only thing I'm going to be happy about this entire fucking election is Zali Steggall beating Tony Abbott. Because Tony Abbott is a piece of shit. I know, Shazzy, the Senate will be fucked. No one will have a majority in the Senate. This is looking like shit at the moment. Oh, look, and I finished my drink. Do I dare make another drink? Because then I'll get really sad. Do you want to see me be a sad drunk? I could be a sad drunk. Hot fucking damn. Okay, shit. This is shit. Ugh. So, yep, I reckon with every fucking passing minute, the fucking Libs are feeling a bit more optimistic and Labor are feeling a bit less optimistic. Ugh, fucking depressing as fuck, quite honestly. Yeah, Jewel, I should drink the pain away. It's very hard to be sure. It's far too soon to be sure at the moment. Shaz, you think it's a bit too depressing? It's far too soon to be sure at the moment, but it is honestly not looking good. This is, I will be for real. Brett, people care too much about politics. You see, I am concerned about the continued existence of the human race, quite honestly. But good on you being philosophical anyway. Enjoy the simpler things in life. But it remains to be seen what happens here. SATA is if Queensland and Florida, what's the Viking allowed to use? I don't know. What's a progressive state in the US? Vermont? I don't know. Luke, I'm with you 100%. I think the poor and people on welfare and people who are sick, people with disabilities, a lot of people, everyone's like fucked. Anyone who's not really wealthy is fucked. Brett, you raise a good point. We should all spend more time with our friends and doing positive things. Good night, Gecko. I'm not going to delete the live stream, man. It'll be there. That's okay. You are right, Tulip. Mimsy does not give a shit. Oh, God. Okay, I'm going to make another drink, and then I will be really fucking drunk at this point. Of the things I thought of making, what suits my mood at the moment? The Long Goodbye, vodka, vermouth, chartreuse, and bitters, and I'm feeling pretty bitter, quite honestly. I am feeling pretty goddamn bitter. Brah, brah, brah. It's either that or the double standard sour. I think I'll do that because I've never made that. Kilu, that is an interesting point that you could say because you knew exactly where Abbott stood on issues. He was honest. Yes, but I would not contradict what you said, but I would just counter with it that we knew that he was honestly a piece of shit. I'm going to make a double standard. A double standard, which I've never made before. Yeah, I'm going to make it with vodka and Scotch lime too. Okay. And egg white. I think I'll make it with egg white. So I like drinks with egg white. So I need to get another bit of ice for this thing. Frank, you raise a good point that whatever the result is, people just need to continue to lead their lives. Okay. First things first. Big block of ice for my tiki mug. You good there, Memsy? You good? Big block of ice. Okay. Okay, big block of ice. Yeah. Okay. To make a double standard, I need... Whoop, come here, cocktail shaker. Settle down. Okay. I'm going to go got my egg white because I like to make it frothy. I'm going to do this. This is my butterscotch. Safa, does anyone know how much I spent on franking credits? It got into the tens of billions of dollars for the franking credits. I was just sweet tulip. You want me to do recipes? A friend of mine said I should do an Instagram channel just for my cocktails, which maybe I will at one point. Okay, so we are going to do a double standard sour. My butterscotch. This is scotch that had a butter rock candy dissolved in it, so it's butterscotch now. We do butterscotch. I just realized I did something wrong. That's okay. That is completely okay. I just need to pour that from my glass back into my cocktail shaker. There's a sign that I'm a little bit drunk because I'm doing things wrong. Okay, so butterscotch. I think I have some salted caramel vodka here. Salted caramel vodka. I'm going to put that in. Salted caramel vodka. Okay. We also where is my syrup? Where's it gone? It's here. Sugar syrup. I'm using agave. Agave syrup. That's just about gone, but I've got another one in the cupboard. Some lime juice. Fucking hell. It is really looking like the lids are going to win. Fucking more power to them. Against the odds. They get to do the happy dance. Kind of like when Paul Keating won against the odds. They get to do the happy dance if they win. Okay. What have I put in there? Lime, the syrup, the scotch. I put it all in there. That's everything. Okay. Oh, wait, I didn't put egg white in, did I? No one saw me put egg white in, did you? Egg white. Okay. Egg white. Is it an interesting thing to note, like with the result of this election, if the Libs win, and it is actually looking like they fucking will, me personally, I'm likely to do quite well out of it. I'm really likely to do quite well. I'm quite well off. I'm not really thinking of myself when I talk about what result I want out of this election. If the Libs win, I'm likely to do quite well out of that. I just think it's very bad for the country as a whole. I am really worried about that. And that's just me. Yay, there we go, I got a cocktail. I can drown my sorrows. I make a little bit of a mess. Ugh, probably need to wash my hands. I spilled some drink on there. Okay. Okay. It's a double standard sour. Brett, kind of looks like you're getting what you want, man. Ooh, that's pretty good, actually. What are you doing, Mimsy? Come up here where everyone can see you. Everyone likes to see you. Do you want to? Are you interested in tasting the cocktail that I spilled on my hand? Does look a bit like a beer. That's the egg white that makes it foamy. Sour with egg white. NDIS is the National Disability Insurance Scheme. Ha ha ha. So yeah, like this is this is looking like a result I didn't want. I get the one laugh out of it that Tony Abbott lost his seat and he's fucking garbage. Geez, and now, okay, Anthony Green's looking at a nationwide primary vote, which isn't looking good for Labor, but anyway. I know, it's weird. Like I said, personally, I'm likely to benefit from a coalition government. I just think it's bad for the country overall. Yeah. I'm waiting. I think if you're watching on TV, I think I'm slightly behind you. Yep. Okay. So the ALP got fucked in Queensland, which was quite important for the Libs. Not sure if he's going to do the other states as well. We're going, yeah, fucking the coalition fucking killed it in Queensland. They have a little dancer. And I don't think the small parties are doing particularly well anywhere. I think there's like only one independent in Queensland from those figures. So I don't think the smaller parties have done very well at all. Oh, Christ, Natalie, fucking work for the dole. That's class warfare as far as I'm concerned. Brett, I don't think One Nation got even a single seat in Queensland. I think it might just be Bob Katter having won a seat in Queensland. But otherwise, the LNP did super well in Queensland. Fucking hell, the ABC is saying 72 for Labor. This is like, yeah, no, the chances of, at the moment, the chances of Labor coming back from this are very, very slim, very slim. That's very interesting. Well, you know what? I can't do anything but say if the LNP end up doing as well as they look like they're going to do, they've triumphed against the odds and they fucking deserve congratulations for that. I mean, I am absolutely not happy with that result, but if and it really looks at this point looks incredibly likely the government's going to be returned. That's a triumph against the odds. Fucking more power to them. I won't pretend I'm anything but super depressed by this result. But shit, it is what it is. You can't fucking do anything against reality. But this is depressing. And I always said when I made videos in the lead up to this election, if it went against what I wanted, if the government retained power, then all the supporters of the government get to fucking laugh at me. Because I really didn't think it was happening. I really didn't want it to happen. But, you know, fuck. Music elevator. Well, I guess we get to get rid of Shorten as leader. I don't know if they'll do it. I actually don't know if Labor will fucking get rid of Shorten. I don't know. Maybe Plibisek. I don't know. I don't think Albanese has enough support. I don't know. I don't know what Labor will do after this. This is a fuck up. This is a real fucking fuck up on Labor's part. So, you know, Jesus, it is what it is. It's a fuck. Look, I tell you what, I might look, Mimsy, come up here. Come up here, Mimsy. ABC's now saying they reckon the LNP's got 73. And the Lib ALP 65, LNP 73. No, Christ, this is just looking like a fuck up. Oh well, that also is an interesting question, Shirazi. Why is this result so different from the polling? That is a very interesting question. Yes, musical aviator, super depressing. The idea of losing to Scummo is super depressing. Jessica, back in, had to rush off. Yes, this is disappointing. Natalie, look, I've so much empathy for you, Natalie. Someone who's doing all the right stuff, but has a system that's fucking you over. There's so much empathy for you. Oh, I'm so depressed. Anyway, hang on a second. I'm going to do two things. Mimsy's in charge of the live stream while I'm gone. I'm going to go because my hands are sticky from shaking the cocktail. I'm going to wash my hands, briefly go in and talk to Mrs. Angry, and then come back and talk to you. So Mimsy's in charge while I'm gone, okay? Yeah. Yep. Mimsy's joining you. I have to admit, Mimsy did not take her responsibility very seriously. that is really quite bad. Mimsy did not take her responsibility very seriously at all. Oh, well, so she's wandered off. Well, okay. I don't even remember. Did I do a live stream for the US presidential election when Trump won? Because that was depressing as fuck. So yeah, I mean, this is what and I did acknowledge this in the lead up to the election because I'd made no secret at all about where my preferences and my bias was. That if the Libs won this election, everyone who supports them gets to laugh at me because I'd be super fucking depressed. So yeah. Catherine, you're going to go, yeah, put on your PJs. Look after yourself, Catherine. Self-care becomes a big thing. Safa, who would Mimsy vote for? Mimsy would vote for anyone who gave her food, basically. I kind of feel at least slightly vindicated by the fact I made it clear all along I was not a fan of Bill Shorten, and I thought he didn't deserve to be a Labor leader. He didn't really deserve to be Prime Minister. He was just kind of going to fall into it. And because I was actually really pissed off that for years his strategy had never amounted to more than, I'm not that guy. Australia deserved better than that. So I feel slightly vindicated if it, as it looks, the LNP are going to retain government. Look, it's honestly going to be pretty close. They might be a minority. I feel at least slightly vindicated that I said kind of Shorten was shitty. Tubiesman, who won? No one's won yet, but it's looking very favourable for the government to retain power. A little crunch. So yeah, it is absolutely not what I wanted. So if you're an Albo for PM, I don't know that Albo has enough support. I just don't know. I think Plipasek might have more of a chance than Albo. I don't know. I honestly don't know. If Labor lose this, which looks really fucking likely, at the moment, it looks like the best possible outcome for Labor is nobody has a majority. And that's a shitty thing to aim for, basically. So, look, again, I have to hand it to the government. Whether they end up with a majority or not, they've done better than basically all the polls said they would. I still fucking hate them. I've never been shy about admitting my biases and preferences, and this election absolutely did not go the way I wanted it to, and you know, fuck. At the moment, a minority government is looking like the most likely outcome. Second most likely outcome is a Liberal with like a 1-seat majority, which is a pretty fucking tenuous position to be in. Jesus, who fucking knows? Honestly, who fucking knows? It looks now it's getting, with the most likely result looking like minority government. It could be days, could be absolutely days before we know for sure what the final standing is. But yeah, who fucking knows where it's going? Yes, Jessica, I really thought Labour would win. I honestly thought there might be a sympathy vote with Hawke dying, which I point out that I thought was bullshit, but then I also thought people were stupid. Yes, Lion, you are right. The majority of independents are conservative. Yeah, he's going to let's switch to Eurovision tour. Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, okay, now the ABC saying 74 to the LNP with 4 undecided. Shit. So we are still looking at the most likely outcome being a minority government, and the second most likely outcome being the LNP with like a 1-seat majority. Fuck me. Well, you know, this is absolutely not what I expected. And I am kind of glad that I put a disclaimer in all my videos in the lead up to this election where I said, although I expected Labor to win, maybe with a good margin, it was absolutely possible that the Libs would win. Because otherwise I'd look really stupid. But yes, this is so not the result I wanted. But hey, you can't always get what you want, as the saying goes. Luke, you're doing a rage quit. What are you up to? 9:20. I said we might not get a call before 10. It is very interesting. The ABC predictions have the Libs just short of majority. Yeah, and it's interestingly how badly the Greens have done. They retained Melbourne. Matthew, the government is winning, honestly. The government either looks like being returned with an incredibly narrow majority or being returned as a minority government with the support of some conservative independents. So who actually knows? I certainly don't. But yeah. Yeah, Safa, I also am happy that Clive Palmer did not win any seats. I never really expected. Oh, that's an interesting one. I just saw that too, Haru. The ABC has adjusted the call thing. But yeah, okay. I honestly think it will be several days before we get. We are now staring at a minority government. That's not guaranteed, but it is really looking like a minority government, or maybe the Libs get a one-seat majority. Spidey saying WA is swinging against Labor. Well, that's what they needed. The Libs needed Queensland to go against Labor. New South Wales seemed to go against Labor. Western Australia, if that's going against Labor, well, fucking hell, man. Got to give credit where credit's due. If they won against the odds. I don't want to cut the stream off yet. Let's talk positives. Tony Abbott got fucked. Clive Palmer got nothing. Again, we are really, I reckon it will be days, if not a week, before we get a final result. And what by far the most likely outcome at the moment is minority government. What is interesting now? Okay, let's talk about weird shit. Who remembers how many appointed party representatives got disendorsed? Like the LNP had over a dozen disendorsed for various shit. The ALP had a couple. The Greens had a couple. The thing is, if this all goes sort of down the tubes and no one's got a majority, there are a lot of legal arguments that can be made that even the distribution of preferences is illegitimate if a particular person wasn't eligible to stand in the election. Fuck knows what could end up happening in this. Now it's so close. Now the most likely outcome is either a minority LNP government or a one-seat majority LNP government. Legal challenges could fucking come out of the woodwork. Fuck knows what could end up happening. So you're the only Labor voter and a bunch of Liberal voters in your house. Yeah, a little bit awkward. But yeah, who knows? I just saw the Chiron on the ABC feed. Should anyone trust an opinion poll ever again? Because all the opinion polls said Labor would win, basically. And of course, all the opinion polls said Trump would lose as well. I don't think anyone thinks Labor can get a majority at this point. So I think we are staring at an incredibly high chance of the result of this election being a minority government. And that is most likely an LNP minority government. Albert, you think the opinion polls were off in the Victorian election? I don't really remember that. That was a good showing for Labor. Okay, so the ABC's back saying 73 LNP, 65 Labor, 7 up for grabs. LNP would have to get 3 out of 7 of the in-doubts. to have a very narrow majority. I don't think anyone thinks Labor can get a majority at this point. And I think a lot of the independents are conservative, who would be more likely to support the continuation of the existing government. But I don't know. Fucking hell. I think we're in for a weird fucking ride. The next week or so could be super fucking weird as we try and work out what's happened and who can form government. But yeah, if we end up with a minority government, no matter who has, okay, and by far, hey Murphy, how's it going, buddy? We're all fucking depressed here. Okay, so the most likely outcome at this point is the government will retain office even if they're a minority government. So, and that's the interesting thing. I thought a very interesting element, like when Julia Gillard led a minority government, it was very effective because she worked with crossbenchers to get legislation. Like Julia Gillard's minority government was more effective than Tony Abbott's majority government, because Tony Abbott just fucking picked fights with everyone, and Julia Gillard basically formed coalitions with people. So I don't know how stable a minority LNP government will be. Fuck knows what. That is by far the most likely outcomes of this election. It's at this point, it is somewhat inconceivable that the sitting government will not be returned, whether they have the slimmest of majorities or they work as a minority government, going in with the support of some conservative independents. It looks like there's no other alternative than the sitting government being returned. But I have no idea how volatile that will be, because I've not seen a lot of evidence of the LNP being good at working with others as a minority. If it's only saying Brass Monkey is a good plug, okay. ABC projects a coalition victory. Maybe by 1 seat, yes. The most, the ABC is predicting a coalition victory now. The most likely outcome is a very slim majority for the LNP, or they form a minority government. Yeah, Brett, you seriously, dude, you get to gloat. Absolutely. I'm not one of these people who flies in the face of reality. And I did say in the lead up, while I thought, like most of the polls said, that the most likely outcome was a Labor win, it was absolutely possible for the Libs to retain government. And it looks like they will either retain the slimmest of majorities, like a 1-seat majority, or because they hold the most seats, they will strike a deal with some independent conservatives to support them. Yes, most Fox. I worry about the environment. I worry about workers' rights. I worry about the rights of anyone who's not a straight white Christian man. It's super fucking disturbing, quite honestly. Well, okay, and you know, I'm gonna fucking go out on a limb and say I'm vindicated for the complaints I always had against Bill Shorten, in that he never did anything to inspire the Australian people. He never did anything to make people feel confident in him as a leader. Natalie, I completely understand where you are and the feeling that things are going to be very hard for you. Your life will be very hard, but you absolutely have me in your corner. And I think this is one of those situations where solidarity becomes very important. But yes, I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say my complaints about Bill Shorten have been vindicated, that he should have shown more guts, that he should have shown more leadership, that he should have shown more commitment, that he spent quite a number of years thinking his best strategy was to say, I'm not that guy, and he'd never focused on inspiring people. He'd focused on not saying anything too outrageous. I don't know if Labor will replace him as leader. I fucking hope they do. I've never been a fan of his. I've always been consistent in saying why I didn't support him. Oh. See, Brett, you get to gloat about everything at the moment. Can't take that away from you, really. That's interesting. I'm watching, while the ABC is predicting a coalition victory, the number of seats they're willing to commit to being definite for the LNP has gone down. They're now saying there's 8 in doubt. So we are still looking at the most likely outcome being either a Liberal government with the slimmest of majorities, like a 1-seat majority, or they're a minority government working with the support of Conservative independents. So for who's more lame, Tony Abbott or Bill Abbott? Tony Abbott. Look, if I take, I'm at least glad I get to take one thing away from tonight. And again, everyone who disagrees with me politically gets to fucking gloat, because I was hoping for about half a dozen positives, one of which was a Labor win. And of the half dozen positives I was hoping for, I only got one, and that was Abbott losing his seat. Dutton retained his seat. Every other fucking shitbag in the LNP retained their seat. And it looks almost beyond doubt that the LNP will retain government, either with the slimmest of majorities or as a minority government with support of conservative independents. So yeah, I feel like shit. How much fun is that, kids? I feel like fucking shit. And I honestly did not expect this result. And it's not just me. All the fucking opinion poll and surveys backed my view. So Jesus Christ, as much as I don't like to admit it, LNP supporters get to have their fucking party tonight. Oh, fuck me. That's right, Line Spider. One of the betting agencies said someone had bet $1 million on a Labor win. And they fucking lose now. Jesus. Holy fucking shit. Yeah, look, nobody, I'm not surprised you're relying on your meds to cope with anxiety. I think just we as people need to stick together and probably not give in to the horror. The horror. Brett, a Political Compass live stream. What is that? Sure what that is. Yeah, nobody. If you bet on the LNP, that's like 6 or 7 to 1. You could have made some serious coin on that. I know it's not what I expected. I did always acknowledge it was possible, but I'm really fucking shagged off with this result. This result is fucking shit. It would be interesting. Now I think this has now ended up being so close. I think it'll be days, if not a week or two, before we have absolutely final results. But fuck me. It's basically not possible for the ALP to get a majority. The LNP may also not get a majority. They may have, like I said, they may have to do a deal with conservative independents to run as a minority government. Be interested to see how well they play with others, because I really do think the Gillard government showed how to run as a minority government, and I am not altogether sure how well the LNP plays with others. So yeah, you know, like I've never made a secret of my views, so I am obviously seriously not happy with this result. Yeah, Christ, at least I have one thing. I have one thing to take away from tonight, that Tony Abbott lost his seat. At least, Christ, if I didn't even have that one thing, I'd be super fucking depressed. But at least I have that one thing to take away that Abbott lost. And yes, in terms of things I said in the leader, at least I always acknowledged that it was a possibility the LNP would win. I really didn't want them to. I really didn't expect them to. And I'm really fucking disappointed in this result. But hey, it appears to be the fucking result. The by far, we're now stuck with, I think it will be quite a while before we get a final result. And I think, yeah, we're looking at the most likely outcome being the government being returned either as a minority government with 74 or 75 seats, or with the slimmest of majorities, like maybe 76 seats, oh, maybe even 77, who knows. Oh, but fucking hell, it's like wild. Okay, Brett, here is a thing. And yes, look, your worldview is your worldview. You said that you vote for your own interests and not anyone else's, and everyone does. That is quite categorically not true, because I personally will probably do better under an LNP government than a Labor government, like that, particularly that reduction in company tax. I'm a contractor, and I have my own company, a proprietary limited company, and I contract through that company, and a reduction in company tax will work in my favor. Like, I personally will probably profit from an LNP government, and yet I'm completely opposed to them. I'm completely opposed to their ideology, and that is based on on how the most vulnerable people are treated, and that's a choice that I make. I choose to look at a situation and go, who is the most vulnerable, and how can we help them? I literally do not vote based purely on my own shallow self-interest, because my own shallow self-interest would probably be served better by an LNP government. So yeah, if they cut company tax because I contract through my own company, I'll probably make out like a fucking bandit. I still think this is a bad result for the country and humanity in general, bad, verging on catastrophic. But, you know, fuck it, hey? We'll see what happens. Yeah, fuck it. At this glorious point, with this shit happening, I might even wrap up the live stream at this point. Yes, we're left in this limbo. It looks like it's basically impossible for Labor to get a majority. I mean, you know, there are Hail Mary 1,000,000 to 1 shots. What the fuck? But we're now looking at the by far most likely outcome is the government being returned either as a minority government or with the slimmest of majorities. Fuck knows what. If everyone's a minority, fuck knows what'll happen. Shit's going to be so volatile. Fuck knows. We might end up having another fucking general election in the next fucking year. Who fucking knows? But this is sad and shit and whatnot. And like I said, I've never been shy about my views and what I think is important and what outcomes I want. And this is absolutely not the result I want. I think in terms of the environment, basic rights of workers, basic rights of any minorities, and even just generally the economy, I think this is a fucking shithouse result. And I'm extremely worried about what this means for the future. But, you know, we won't really know for sure for a while. So Fuck it. I think I'm going to sign off. Yeah, this is a funny thing. I always said in the lead up to this, if this did not go the way I wanted, the way I expected, people with different political views to me get to fucking gloat. Fucking yeah, go for it. But yeah, I'm gonna call a night at this point in what looks like a super fucking shitty result as far as I'm concerned. Look, I hope you all look after yourselves. I hope you all take care of yourselves. Take some time to do a bit of self-care. We all need to look after ourselves and each other. And look, we'll just fucking take it from there, basically. Look after yourselves. I'm going to say good night for now. Take care of yourselves, one and all. And I will say good night and bye for now.